Hey Stoic friends, welcome back to my channel. There's a silence that doesn't feel empty, it feels like a funeral, not one with flowers and tears, but the kind where you bury yourself alive. You don't cry, you don't scream, you just sit there, swallowing the words that could have saved you, watching your own damn light flicker out. And you call it maturity. You call it being the bigger person. But deep down, you know what it really is. It's surrender. It's self-slaughter dressed up as Stoicism. It happens in a split second. Someone crosses the line, your line. They crack a joke that slices straight through your soul. They touch a nerve they weren't supposed to. And you smile, you laugh, you shrug. But inside, something's breaking. No, not breaking, shattering. You walk away pretending it didn't matter, but your body remembers. Your chest tightens, your jaw locks. And that silence you chose. It follows you home like a curse you cast on yourself. And then, in the dark, it hits. That moment replays like a loop on fire in your mind. And you curse yourself for not roaring, for not rising, for not tearing the damn room in half with your truth. But it's too late now. The wound isn't bleeding anymore, it's rotting. And every time you stay silent again, it spreads. You think you're avoiding drama, but you're feeding the disease. You're the one keeping yourself small. You're the one burning your own flag. And we all do it, not because we're weak, but because we're scared. Scared to be alone, scared to be the villain, scared to break the fake peace. So we trade our voice for approval. We cut off pieces of our truth just to fit into someone else's fantasy. But let me tell you something raw. The deepest betrayal you'll ever experience is the one you commit against yourself. And it always starts with silence. Marcus Aurelius didn't say this directly, but his life screamed it. Your soul isn't made to kneel. It's made to stand alone in the storm, soaked, bruised, and unshakable. You think silence is noble? Sometimes silence is the noose you tie around your own neck. Sometimes silence is the blade they hold, and you hand it to them, smiling. Not every battlefield has bombs. Some of them look like family dinners. Some look like a date night. Some look like a job interview. But your chest? That's where the war is. Your heart is thundering. Your throat is dry. Your hands want to move. Your eyes scream, say it. But you freeze. You fold. You play nice. And the war goes unrecorded. But the scars stay. This video? It's not for the polite. It's not for the people still addicted to being liked. It's for the ones who have buried their rage so deep they forgot what it sounds like when they speak from the fire. It's for the ones who have made themselves small so many times, they're tired of pretending they don't feel the weight of extinction pressing on their ribs. This is a wake-up call, a funeral for your silence, a resurrection of your spine. I'm about to walk you through 7 moments that feel small but are atomic. Moments where staying quiet isn't strength, it's spiritual suicide. Moments where your silence isn't golden, it's gasoline, and you're the one holding the match. And if you've lived through any of them, you already know the burn I'm talking about. So listen to me. Don't just watch this video, bleed with it. Let it drag out your ghosts. Let it rip the tape off your mouth. Let it remind you of the voice you left behind in every room where you should have howled instead of nodded. Let this script be the permission slip your soul's been begging for. Before we dive in, hammer that like button, like it's the wall you've been dying to break through. Drop your truth in the comments like a war cry. Share this with someone who's lost in their own silence. And whatever you do, don't skip this, because the price of staying silent? It's you, and you've already paid enough. Now let's dive in. Number 1. When someone disrespects you repeatedly. There's a moment, A precise second in time when someone looks at you and steps across a line they should have never even tiptoed near. You feel it like a punch to the gut. Your stomach turns, your chest tightens, your blood starts boiling quietly under the skin. You're not imagining it. You didn't overreact. They meant that disrespect. They knew exactly what they were doing, and yet you smiled. You let it slide. You told yourself it wasn't worth it. You convinced yourself to keep the peace. And that, right there, is the beginning of your downfall, because when you silence your voice just to avoid conflict, you don't become wise. You become invisible. You slowly start peeling pieces off your soul and handing them over to people who never deserved access to you in the first place. And the worst part, you teach them how to treat you. You show them that you're available for their games, that you'll keep swallowing the poison just to keep everyone comfortable. But what about your comfort? What about your pride? What about the fire in your chest that's been burning for years, under every laugh that wasn't funny, every jab that cut deep, every moment you stood there pretending it didn't hurt? There's no glory in pretending it doesn't bother you. There's no strength in letting people walk all over you while you wear a fake smile and call it maturity. That's not maturity. That's betrayal of your dignity, of your backbone, of every instinct inside you that's begging you to roar back. And no, I'm not saying to explode. I'm not saying to fight fire with fire. Because as Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. But make no mistake, revenge isn't always about destruction. Sometimes revenge is about resurrection. So rise. Rise with a voice that doesn't stutter, with words that land like hammers. Not for revenge, but for reclamation. You don't need to curse. You don't need to scream. All you need is one solid line, one sentence that changes the direction of your story forever. That's not okay with me. Say it without shaking. Say it even if your knees buckle. Say it even if they laugh, especially if they laugh. Because that sentence isn't for them. It's for the younger version of you who stayed quiet too long. It's for the part of you that bent over backwards so many times you forgot how it felt to stand upright. And yes, some people will leave. Good. Let them leave. Let them choke on the silence they used to weaponize against you. Let them disappear into the background where they belonged all along. Because when you speak your truth, the real ones don't flinch. They nod. They respect it. They rise with you. And the ones who fall away, they were never worth the space in your life to begin with. You are not here to please everyone. You are not a sponge for emotional vomit. You are not a punching bag for passive-aggressive jokes or underhanded compliments. You are not a project to be fixed or a joke to be tolerated. You are not a body to be controlled or a voice to be silenced. You are a force, a storm, a walking revolution. So let your voice be your sword. Let your words be your armor. Let your presence burn with boundaries so sharp no one dares cross them without consequences. Say it once. Say it clearly. Say it like it echoes through your bloodstream. This is where I end, and you don't get to cross this anymore. Not today, not ever again, because you've bled enough in silence. Now it's time to burn in truth. Number 2. When someone tries to shame you for your past. They bring up your past like they're summoning a demon, like it's some cursed relic they can slap on your chest and watch you squirm, like the old, bruised, bleeding version of you still lives rent-free in your skin. They say your name, but they spit it out like it belongs to the broken soul you once were. They don't see the rebuild. They don't see the ashes that turn to armor. All they see is the chapter they never let you finish. They want you guilty. tied down, bent over by the weight of what you used to be. And that's the real poison. They don't want you to heal. They want you haunted. They want you tiptoeing through your own life like you're still walking on glass. But here's the cold-blooded truth they can't handle. You are not your past. You're the wildfire that rose from its wreckage. You are not that mistake, not that night, not that choice, not that version that begged for love, begged for understanding, begged for just one more chance. That version of you died, and they missed the funeral. Now they're talking to a ghost that no longer answers. So when someone throws your past in your face like it's a slap, you don't flinch. You stare straight through them. You crack your voice open like thunder and say, "You're talking to a dead man's shadow. I don't live there anymore. And you? You're trespassing in sacred ground. Because you didn't crawl out of hell just to be dragged back by people who never even carried a match. You bled for your evolution. You clawed your way through nights that nearly stole your soul. You rebuilt yourself in silence, brick by painful brick, while the world judged you in whispers. And now? Now you walk tall with scars as your flag, and anyone who tries to shame you for surviving, they're not worth the dust on your boots. Marcus Aurelius said, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." So, let them talk. Let them twist your history into a weapon, but don't ever accept the wound. Don't ever let their poison back into your bloodstream, because if you don't speak up, your silence becomes an apology. And you, warrior, have nothing left to apologize for. If they can't handle who you've become, that's their weakness, not yours. If they're stuck reading chapter 2, that's fine. You're already writing chapter 20. You've changed pens, paper, everything. New script, new voice, new blood. So stop folding, stop flinching, stop watering yourself down for people still addicted to your downfall. You don't owe them softness, you owe yourself sovereignty. You don't owe them guilt, you owe yourself glory. And when they whisper, "But remember who you were?" you smile and say, "Yeah, I remember. And that's why I'll never be that weak again." Because that's not your cage anymore. It's your kingdom now. Number 3. When you're being emotionally manipulated. You've been there before. That feeling. The one where everything in you screams something's wrong, but they tell you, you're overreacting. You start questioning yourself, doubting your every thought, your every word. Did you really say that? Did you really feel that? Or did they twist your mind until the truth got lost in a sea of their manipulation? This is gaslighting at its finest. It's not a conversation, it's a psychological assault. And if you don't stop it right now, if you don't draw that line in the sand, you will slowly suffocate. Every moment you keep silent, you vanish. Every moment you swallow your truth, your soul breaks just a little bit more. They manipulate you with such precision, they make you feel like you're drowning in a sea of their lies, unable to breathe, unable to think straight. You start to apologize for things you didn't even do. Your mind fractures as they twist reality, pushing you to question everything. What's worse? You begin to believe them. You start doubting your own sanity, like you're the one who's broken, like you're the one who's wrong. But here's the brutal truth. You're not the crazy one. You're not losing your mind. What's happening is far more dangerous. You're being manipulated. And if you remain silent in this war, if you keep swallowing their poison, you'll end up losing yourself. You will lose everything. But here's the truth you've been blind to. Your truth is your power. No one has the right to bend it, twist it, or erase it. Not them, not anyone. And once you realize that, you stop asking for permission to be yourself. You stop apologizing for your own mind. You stand up and say, "No, this isn't me. This isn't who I am, and I'm not going to play your game anymore." Marcus Aurelius, the master of Stoic wisdom, said, "If someone can show me that what I think or do is not right, I'll gladly change, for I seek the truth." But they don't seek truth. They seek control. They seek to keep you in the dark so they can remain in power. They don't want to change. They want to break you. And the more you stay silent, the more they chip away at your soul, your confidence, your sense of self. But that's exactly what they want, to erase you from the equation. So speak. Speak up even when your throat feels tight. Speak up even when your voice cracks. It doesn't matter if you don't have all the answers. The truth is, you know enough. You know what's real. You know what you've felt. Don't wait for them to validate your experience. They will never do that. You're not here to convince them. You're here to break free. Say it loud and clear. I know what happened. I know who I am, and I will not allow you to twist my reality anymore. Your voice is your weapon, not rage, not aggression, but cold, unwavering truth. Speak to shatter their control. Speak to reclaim your mind, to reclaim your spirit, to reclaim your life, because silence is their power, but truth is your freedom. The moment you speak, you stop being their puppet. You stop letting them pull your strings. And in that moment you realize you were never broken. You were never crazy. You were just silenced. Number 4. When someone crosses your physical or sexual boundaries. Some silences are born from fire, a fire you've kept hidden deep inside. You've felt it, the nausea, the shaking, when someone violates you and your body screams, "No," but your mouth, it's paralyzed. Every nerve in your body is on high alert. Every instinct telling you to fight, to scream, to tear down the walls. But instead, you stand there, frozen, a prisoner in your own skin, because you don't want to make a scene, don't want to draw attention. But I'm here to tell you, it's too late for that. The scene is already being made. You're just too afraid to act. That silence you hold, it's not protecting you. It's enslaving you. It's caging your soul, your power. The longer you stay silent, the more your violator thinks they can go further. Every unspoken no becomes a green light. Every hesitation, every second you don't speak up, is a gift you're handing to them on a silver platter. And the worst part? The worst part is that they never even have to ask for permission. They just take it. They take your dignity. They take your space. They take you. But you are not a doormat. You are not someone's punching bag. Your body is your temple, and no one, no man, no woman, no friend, no lover, has the right to trample over it. This isn't some mild inconvenience. This is a violation. This is war. Every inch of your body, every inch of your being is worth protecting, no matter the cost. Zeno, one of the fathers of Stoicism, said, "Live in accordance with nature. Your nature is power. Your nature is protection. Your nature is warrior. You were not born to submit to harm, to let people walk over you like dirt. You were born to rise, to stand your ground, to defend your space with every ounce of your being. And you owe no one softness when they trample all over that. You owe yourself fire, so don't freeze, don't stay silent. Speak up, set the fire loose. Tell them, don't you dare touch me like that. Say it. Let it explode from your chest like thunder. That was not okay. Get your hands off me. And if they try to shame you for it, if they try to twist your words and make you feel like the villain, good riddance. That's not your fight anymore. Let them go. Because if they can't respect you, if they can't see you as a human being deserving of space and respect, then they never mattered. Your silence, it doesn't keep the peace. It feeds the predator. And now is the time to take that silence and turn it into a roaring fire. You don't ask for permission. You don't make excuses. You demand respect. And if anyone dares to challenge that, you let them know their time is over. This is your territory, and no one crosses that line. Number 5. When you witness injustice or bullying. You're standing there, and you can feel it. The tension in the air, the crushing weight of injustice. Someone is being humiliated, broken down, their worth being torn to shreds in front of everyone, and your heart is screaming, "Do something." Every fiber in your body tells you to stand up, to be the one to fight back. But then there's this other voice, a voice that whispers, softer, more insidious, "Stay out of it. It's not your problem. Don't get involved." But what you don't realize is that at that moment, silence becomes your enemy. Inaction becomes betrayal. It's all too familiar. Watching as someone you care about is chewed up by the cruelty of the crowd, laughed at, picked apart, destroyed. And you, what do? Nothing. You stand there like a ghost, invisible, scared of the consequences, too afraid to be next in line, afraid to speak, afraid to act. But here's the brutal truth. Your silence is consent. Every second you stay quiet, every moment you choose not to speak up, you feed the fire. You become part of the problem. Think about it. How many times have you seen it happen? The toxic jokes, the racist slurs, the bullying, the hatred that doesn't even blink. And you just smiled, maybe laughed nervously, maybe shifted uncomfortably in your seat, because the truth is, no one wants to be the target. But what's worse, being a target or being the one who let it happen? Who stood by and did nothing? Marcus Aurelius didn't mince words. He said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That's the real power, not silence, not compliance, but standing up, speaking out, and refusing to let the world continue to be swallowed by darkness. Epictetus, the master of Stoic truth, reminded us that what is not under your control is not your concern, but how you respond, that is yours entirely. So respond, stand, speak, be the one who disrupts the cycle. Your words, even if they shake, can ignite a fire. They can be the catalyst for change. You don't have to be some hero, just someone who refuses to stay silent in the face of evil. Say it. Say, "That's not okay." Make your voice cut through the air like a blade. Interrupt the insults. Rip through the cruelty. Don't let those toxic words breathe for even 1 second longer. Be the disruption. In a world where injustice has become the backdrop, where cruelty has become the norm, your voice is an act of rebellion. Your silence does not protect anyone. It shields the predator. It nurtures the cruelty. But when you speak, you break the chains. You tear down the walls of indifference. One sentence, one word, that's how you start the change. That's how you start a revolution. It only takes one person to shatter the quiet, to stop the storm from drowning everyone else. And here's the kicker. When you start speaking out for others, when you stand tall for the vulnerable, you're teaching yourself how to speak up for your own truth. You're teaching yourself how to defend your own worth. Because if you can stand up for someone else, you can stand up for yourself. And there is nothing more powerful than that. Nothing more dangerous than a person who will not stay silent in the face of injustice. Number 6. When you're betrayed by someone you love. There's a silence after betrayal that's more deafening than any scream you could ever imagine. It's the kind of silence that claws at your insides, the silence that screams in your chest when the person you trusted with everything you had betrays you. When someone you gave your heart to, your soul, turns their back, leaving you in a heap of lies, deceit, and broken promises. You sit there in the wreckage of everything you thought was real, holding in the storm that threatens to tear you apart. But here's the twist. That silence isn't strength. It's the slow poison of your own soul. It's the calm before the storm inside of you explodes. You're sitting there, in that silence, hoping, praying that they'll come back. That maybe, just maybe, they'll see the wreckage they've left behind and rush back to you, full of apologies and empty promises. You tell yourself you don't need to cry, you don't need to be weak. But the truth? You're suffocating on all the words you didn't say, on all the feelings you didn't express, on all the truth you refused to face. But silence is self-destruction. It's a slow bleed that you can't stop because you've convinced yourself it's noble, that somehow you'll survive the emotional massacre by holding it all in. You bury the pain so deep, so far down, that it becomes a part of who you are, a dark scar that you wear as if it's some badge of honor. But you're lying to yourself. You're not strong. You're just pretending to be. You're dying inside, slowly, inch by inch, because you refuse to speak the truth of what they did to you. The worst part is not the betrayal. It's what it does to you when you stay silent. Look, Stoicism doesn't sugarcoat things. It doesn't tell you to lie to yourself and pretend that everything's fine. Marcus Aurelius himself would have told you that holding on to that poison inside, that's weakness. That's the attachment to illusion. He said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your silence, that's a quality of thought built on delusion. It's thinking you'll find peace in the same place you were destroyed. You're crumbling from the inside, feeding on the empty hope that something will change if you just wait long enough. But nothing will change, not unless you change it. So stop. Stop pretending you're fine. Stop pretending that this pain doesn't rip through you every single day. Stop waiting for closure from someone who doesn't even understand what truth is. You crave it, don't you? You crave answers, justification, the justice that you'll never get from them. But you're not going to find that in their eyes. You'll only find it in your own voice. You owe it to yourself to speak it out loud, to say the words that will burn away the last traces of them in your life. Not for them, not to get their attention, but for you. Say it out loud. What you did to me was unforgivable. I loved you, but I will not keep feeding this lie anymore. I will not let you define who I am. You will not destroy me with your lies. Say it with fire. Say it like it's the last thing you'll ever say. Let it explode from your chest like the truth it is, because until you do, you'll keep letting their betrayal control your life. That's when the real magic happens. When you let your voice be the flame that burns their memory to ashes. When you stop letting their treachery anchor you to the past. When you make it clear, in no uncertain terms, that what they did will never define who you are or what you're capable of. It's not just the end of what they did to you. It's the beginning of your rise. Betrayal doesn't break you. It wakes you up. It forces you to see the strength that's been hiding under the weight of their lies. It's time to let go, not just of them, but of the broken version of yourself that ever thought they were worthy of your love. Betrayal is the catalyst, the fire that forges the new you. You're no longer the person you were before the wound. You're the person who survived it. You're the person who owns their pain, turns it into power, and leaves the past behind like the ashes of an old life. That silence, it's gone. You've spoken your truth, and that's the final nail in their coffin. You've reclaimed your voice, and with it, you've reclaimed yourself. You're not a victim, you're a warrior. And the best part? You're only getting started. Number 7. When you're dying inside, but pretending you're fine. You're suffocating in silence. Every breath you take feels heavier than the last. Yet you drag yourself out of bed and face the world, a smile glued to your face, like a mask you've worn so long it's part of your skin. You say, "I'm fine," as if repeating it enough will make it true. You say it because that's what the world wants to hear. You say it because the truth would shatter the fragile illusion you've built. But here's the brutal reality. "I'm fine" is the lie you tell the world to protect yourself from the fact that you're dying inside. Inside, your heart is a battlefield. Your mind is on fire. Every thought a scream you're too scared to release. You carry the weight of 1,000 unspoken words, of 1,000,000 unshed tears. But you keep it together. You keep pushing. You keep smiling, because who the hell would care if you fell apart? Who would understand the depths of your pain? You're alone in this darkness, and the worst part is, you've convinced yourself you deserve to be. The truth? That silence you hide behind. It's a poison coursing through your veins. It doesn't give you strength. It doesn't make you tough. It breaks you. It tears apart your soul piece by piece, and you keep telling yourself it'll get better. It won't. Not unless you stop lying. Not unless you stop pretending you're fine when you're falling apart. You can't heal what you refuse to acknowledge. You can't fix a wound that you're too scared to even look at. What the Stoics knew, what Marcus Aurelius understood, was that true strength comes not from pretending to be invincible, but from embracing your vulnerability. Strength isn't in being a rock. It's in having the courage to crack and still stand tall. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, he said. So where is your power right now? Hiding behind a mask, pretending that everything's fine? What if you could find strength in the cracks, in the places you've kept hidden from the world? What if you could let the world see the real you, the one who's hurting, the one who's broken, but still standing? That mask, rip it off. Let the world see the storm inside you. Scream, cry, let the pain out, because there is no strength in silence. There is no power in pretending to be fine. Real strength comes when you stand in the fire of your emotions, when you allow yourself to feel it all, and then rise from the ashes. The world doesn't need another person pretending to have it all together. It doesn't need another stoic soldier marching to battle with a closed heart. What the world needs is someone brave enough to bleed in front of it, someone willing to admit that they're not fine, and that's perfectly okay. That's the kind of strength that makes the world stop and take notice. Because it's real, it's raw, it's human. You think you're holding it together, but you're one breath away from collapsing. Don't wait until you break. Speak, scream, whisper, if that's all you can do. But let the truth out. Speak your pain, speak your fear. Your voice is your weapon. Use it. Don't let the silence destroy you. Don't let it consume you. You were made to bend, to break, to rise. And the more you fight against it, the harder the fall will be. So take off that mask. Tear down the walls. Let yourself fall apart. Because in that fall, you will find your true strength. You will rise from the ruins, rebuilt from the honesty you've denied. No more pretending. No more lies. You're not fine, and that's the moment you'll discover that you're finally free. Your voice is not just sound. It's your armor. It's your weapon in a world that thrives on the silence of those too scared to speak. It's your truth, raw and unfiltered. And it's the force that shatters every illusion you've ever been fed. In a world that profits off your silence, your voice becomes an act of rebellion, a battle cry to the forces that seek to drown you out. Don't allow silence to steal your power. Don't let it bury your soul under a mountain of unspoken words. When you stay silent in the face of injustice, of pain, of betrayal, you hand over your control. But when you speak, that's when you reclaim everything, your dignity, your strength, your freedom. Never stay silent in these 7 moments, because that's when your soul is screaming to be heard. Your voice is not weakness, it is a revolution in motion, shaking the foundations of everything that tried to silence you. You were never meant to hide. You were never meant to shrink in the shadows. Let the world adjust to your honesty, not the other way around. Your truth is enough. Your words are enough. You are enough. If this video struck something deep inside you, don't bottle that feeling up. Share it. Let others feel that fire too. Like, comment, and share this message. Subscribe to the channel for more content that celebrates your strength, your struggle, and the power of your voice. And now, drop this in the comments. My silence will never betray me again. Say it out loud, and let that declaration echo in your soul. You're no longer afraid to speak, and that, my friend, is the beginning of your true power.